right? Whereby real-time advertisers using the bot will buy media space based on real-time pricing. Maybe in future we can have a perfect economics. You're willing to pay for this, your AI engine will negotiate with the other AI engine and you strike the personal price. And in economics, then you're not leaving any money on the table. So we could have even personalized price. But what this thing wants to be is, Apple today is the iTunes of digital goods. In future, it can be the iTunes of everything under the sun. Everything that is sold, it becomes the largest retailer. Google will do that. Amazon is already there, but it needs to ride on this platform. And then it has your full wallet share. So they want to dominate this market, okay? And when this happens, they will earn 10% or 20% of whatever you buy. And if you buy from here, from this platform, it will be cheaper than you walk down to the store and buy, because the store below is competing against the largest retailer in the world in terms of marketing power. Yeah. So what is the impact of this? What industries will this disrupt? Retail. Sorry? Those are, I won't say disrupt, I will say empower, because the technology will provide, just like you get the doctor in your pocket, right? So it makes us a lot better. I mean, our quality of life will improve. But how about the industry that spends money to advertise to you? And what is the purpose of that? So that you buy a product when you think of your need arises. In future, the decision making or big influence will come from the AI. So there's no need for big companies, the P&Gs and the Unilevers, to advertise to you because your AI is making the buying decision. It will come a day whereby if you have a real PA, you'll say, all these things, just buy for me, I don't need to know. What is the purpose of advertising? Yeah? So when advertising is disrupted, another downstream industry will be disrupted. And that industry is called media. Your news, your TV, even your sports, heavily subsidized by advertising. And if that is impacted, that will also, the downstream for media industry will again be disrupted. I give you one more industry, there's countless just on this alone, okay? If I am Google, and why is Google going to the phone? Not because it sees the money in the phone, because it wants to give you a free phone. It wants to give you a free Google Home. So to lock you into their ecosystem. So I'm confident that 5 years from now, our mobile devices, our tablets, even the whole telco line could be free. This is a loss leader to get you into their ecosystem, and you buy everything under that platform. Even maybe your Grab ride or your Google car ride will be free. Yeah? So just this single technology, I can go on and on, but I have to stop there, has a lot of profound impact and downstream impact. And I speak to people in different industries, for example, advertising industry, marketing industry, and when I speak to the audience, none of them see this coming. And if you are there thinking about future of work, how can a robot do my work? The robot may not do your work, but the robot could disrupt the industry and affect you doing your work and make the work redundant. Yeah? So if advertising industry is disrupted, why do we need so many marketing professionals? So I understand that you have seen this before, but I just want to illustrate the point that this is how good technology is getting, right? Just able to interact as though they are real humans.
Hi,
and this is what I call voice Turing tests. In computing science, we have something called Turing test, means that someone at the end of the line, you don't know that you can tell whether it's a real human or not. So this actually has passed the voice Turing test. And for us, it's just another moment, but it's actually a very special breakthrough. So that was the voice interface. And is the voice interface the best interface between people and computers? It is between people and people. But let's take a look.
(10:43 a.m.)
Total $10.07.
MIT, you can see the MIT name, so it's not fake news. So what I'm trying to illustrate to you is these technologies, if I don't show you, you'll think that it's 10 years away. I'm guilty of that as well. But today, as we speak, it's right here, right now. And you know digital technologies, how long it takes to be diffused. Pokemon Go only take days to reach 100 million. So when I start speaking about the AI assistant, I couldn't find a single article that talks about it. Today, the media has caught up, so you can continue this topic, and HBR has an article on this 8-page article to talk about how fundamentally marketing will change, and how AI could make brands obsolete. So this is the same disruption potential for financial services and why Google and Amazon is keeping the largest funds managers in the world awake. In fact, to me, it should be all the banks in the world, because the world doesn't need banking. The world doesn't need banks, it needs banking. And Google could, or Facebook could provide the platform for banking. Your banks at most understand and have a 20-degree view of you, understanding of you based on your transaction data. But a Google or AI assistant will have a 360-degree view of you. Not just your financial data, but your family, your friends, your work, and all these perspectives, they will be able to recommend you much better investment products or insurance products that suit you better than what the bank can recommend. But I'm not done. I'm only showing you one of them. The second one has to do with immersive media. I'm sure you're all familiar with VR by now, AR and some version of that, right? So today we spend about 16 hours a day awake in this physical world. The rest, I think, in dreamland. And 10 years ago, we start to have this digital world, what I call the second world. And on average today, we spend 4+ hours on it. Excluding your laptops, just on your mobile devices and your tablets, right? This 4-hour shift of attention makes all the largest companies in the world digital already, just this 4-hour shift alone. Recently, GE just dropped out from the Dow Jones Index, so that is a earth-shaking moment. 10 years ago, we didn't spend much time on digital. Today, we haven't spent much time on virtual because it's just emerging. But 5-10 years from now, we'll be spending hours on it. Socializing, working, learning, traveling. You can think of various aspects of how this can be used. Basically, technology is called disruptive because the term means that you're bringing something that is scarce to a lot of people. So for a lot of people out there, what is actually scarce to them is experience, is good experience, and virtual reality enables you to do that, okay? Today, actually, the industry is already there. It's just called gaming, and it's for a very niche sector of people. In future, it will be all gamers. We'll all be using our life in one way or another, interacting with our friends or doing our work on the virtual world. So this is Facebook's domain, and this could make Facebook, again, one of the largest companies in the world, the next round of it. Because if Facebook can lock you in, and in developing world, Facebook has 2 billion accounts, and in the developed world, it's 1 billion accounts. If this account is so good, the whole virtual reality experience is so good, you can meet your friends. Just like if you are gaming, if you don't go and play the game, you'll feel addicted. Similarly, in future, I see the same happening in virtual reality. I have to go there and meet my friends over there. Otherwise I cannot sleep. So people are willing to pay $1 for it to Facebook. Sometimes it's this digital goods. Sometimes it's subscription. We never know. Then Facebook revenue is $1 billion a day. and $300 billion a year. Yeah? And this is a high profit margin business. Maybe 90% is all profits. Yeah? So how big that could make Facebook? So I see a shift again. When this attention shift, the wealth will shift. But what I'm very interested in is in all these intersections. And this is what I call hyper reality. So the first example is basically an overlay, you're wearing glasses and giving you a very gamified experience with your personal assistant plugin. Yeah? It's not difficult to imagine the kind of world, right? And the second one is a digital human. So this is rendering a real human image and converting it to a emotionally rich kind of AI avatars. And then, we have this virtual commerce, basically by buy class, is by Alibaba, so that you can travel around the world to buy from different stores from your own home. Yeah, you can do your own shopping there. Facebook Spaces is already online, so anyone can buy and be using it to socialize and do work, play cards with your friends. Holoportation is a concept by Microsoft Research. So you can't see it here, but you can go YouTube and check it out. And basically, it's so immersive as though that person is just planted in front of you. So I don't see the need to travel. We have to travel because video conference today is not immersive enough. But wait till that day when it becomes as though the person is as good as next to you. But what I'm very interested in is this ultimate intersection. Okay, let's check it out.
We can show him taking over inside this vehicle here. And let's show that he has control over the car as well. So there's the real car out there. And so Tim, if you can turn the steering wheel a little bit, we can see that we've got...
Oh, come on, cut it out!
Come on, that's fun. Yeah, so he engaged...
Are you guys putting this in your head right now? There's Tim in reality, but he's inside virtual reality, controlling a car that's in reality, but it's not here. Are you guys following me? Okay.
So,
it's like 3 layers of inception right now. The mind clearly exploded.
we've engaged remote drive, you can see, so he knows he has...
I still remember when we were talking about this, creating this, the people that were explaining to, we're going to build this thing, I was like, okay, explain to me one more time.
Yeah. You can't understand until you see it. Then it all makes sense. Okay, so I think we've seen this. Let's take a look from Tim's perspective for a second here, and we can have him take off and actually drive the car. As you can see, he's blocked. There's a vehicle here that's doing some unloading, and Tim looked down just a little bit so we can see your perspective, and he can now operate this vehicle around this obstacle and maybe take it to a safe spot in a parking lot for us. And hopefully all... So we're doing this really slowly and safely in a cordoned off area here, and he's going to try to turn off into the parking lot. Now you can see a little bit on the left here.
There's Tim is in there. Guys, there's Tim right there. The invisible man.
And Tim's view is very broad. He can see all 3 screens and get a full perspective of everything that's going on in the car. In the future, we can represent all kinds of LiDAR systems and everything, slowly. So, yeah, maybe we could take a look there.
Look at him.
Yeah.
There he goes. Go.
Okay, I'll cut short that. So basically, you can see that in applications whereby you cannot fully automate, but you can have a remote operator. Yeah, so don't always think that the next step is automation. This part, actually, to me, is what is 4th Industrial Revolution. It combines everything together, such that sometimes our mind is also confused. Which world are we in? You could be talking to an AI avatar, but behind it, there's a real human. You could be talking to a cartoonish avatar, but it's fully powered by AI. So I can tell you that we are going into this world whereby, this hyper reality world whereby we'll be so confused. If you watch the movie Real Player One, there's a clear distinction between the physical and the VR world. To me, that is understating it, because all these worlds will combine and collide and interact, and it will be so confusing to us. Sometimes we'll be talking to a robot, behind it, there's actually a real person. So that is the kind of real reality we are going into, and sometimes I can tell you that the future is stranger than you think. It's even stranger than the movies. In this case, it's a few movies combining together. And I have no time to show another video, but basically at Singularity University, we have something called X Prize. We give away $10 million to get teams to compete. And in that prize, basically we are trying to get people to create avatars. Basically there's a robot in front and someone else thousands of miles away could be doing the work. So that, if you are managing workforce quota, for example, right, then it's irrelevant because someone working in your cafe could be someone thousands of miles away doing the work, the chef, for example. Yeah. So in my view, this is something very profound for the future of work, because it's not just whether it's a person or automated, but to me it can be all forms. It can be all combined, yeah, to create value. So that's why I want to emphasize this. The next 10 years, your industry, your profession will change more than in the last 50 or 100 years. So what's the fourth industrial revolution? Is something that I've been very passionate about because I've been talking about this since 2013, using my own concept of this four-stage paradigm. And I just want to zoom into the last two parts, whereby today we are actually, from here we are moving up here. And this is the part that will catch many, many people by surprise. They think the IT is here already. They think the internet is here already. But we are at the primitive part of it in the past. So now it's really a roller coaster ride that's starting. So World Economic Forum calls this a fusion of physical, digital, and biological world. Just now it's a demonstration of that. You'll see the emergence of new business model, disruption of incumbents, reshaping of entire production supply chain systems. So I've shown you technology 4.0, right? The AIs and the robotics, autonomous vehicle, the drones, the blockchains. So imagine how it will impact everything else, from your economy to work to society. So imagine your AI assistant next time will be telling you who to vote based on your preference. How will it change everything about politics, right? And I wouldn't assume that won't happen. Maybe your politician has to start marketing to AIs. So what is the impact on your profession and your industry? So I'm going to quickly touch on this, and then I will kind of wrap it up. This very important concept of exponential change. Basically, Ray Amada and Bill Gates talk roughly about the same thing, that we always overestimate the potential of technology in the short term, but in the long term, we underestimate it. And this is Gordon Moore. There's a famous Moore's law that says that computing power will double every 12 to 18 months. And let me summarize that into these two lines. Because the straight line is the linear thinking. That is how we think. Yeah, a very conventional kind of straight kind of perception of the amount of change. That the last 10 years and the next 10 years, the speed of change is different. It's the same. But that's not the reality today. Technology actually rides on that curve. It's called an exponential curve. It starts at a very low base and you multiply by 2. It's still very low, and then one day you'll break out 0.4, 0.8, 1, and then you'll 2, 4, and then you'll break out, and the crossing point is what you call the tipping point. And business that don't understand that, when technologies reach a tipping point, then they'll be disrupted. But if their timing is right, then they can benefit from this curve. So many industries today, when you go to be digitally transformed, what does it mean? It means that actually your industry will ride on that curve. Will be Uberized or Netflix or whatever you call that, but you'll be facing a lot of disruption because someone else could use the new technology and put you out of business. So the illustration of that is many industries have shown that disruption happens very, very quickly. Company grow, and disruption always happens when the industry is still growing, and bang. Yeah, this is Kodak moment. This is music industry. This is a newspaper. This is an Uber license in the US. Many people are casualty of this. HP, IBM, Dell has privatized because they missed the cloud computing wave. So this is what happened in the last 10 years. This is a whole package of technologies that is reaching tipping point in the next few years. And Uber itself doesn't fit on one technology. Okay, it fits on all these different technologies, stitching them together. You know, you have a mobile, everyone has a mobile, you have a geolocation, you have a micropayment, and different technologies that is stitched together. Your competitors will be doing the same. Not one single technology will put you out of business, but when they stitch everything together, they can reimagine your industry. So in the past, these are the disrupted industries, and in the future, everything is up for disruption. Yeah, I work with a lot of startups, and every day they are thinking of how to do it with, sometimes with less human element. So I just want to briefly mention this because as HR people, let me just play this very quick video. Then I want to show this example of, if you are lifeguard today, do you think that a robot will be able to be a lifeguard like you, going out and looking for someone in danger and saving that person, bringing to onshore? Let me show you this example. Maybe some of you have seen this, yeah? Okay? So this is in the first day of operation of this drone, a lifeguard drone. So it detects the person is in danger, it threw a flotation device down, and the person is saved. Yeah? So my point is that AI and technology, they could do what they are doing, but in a way different way. So if we have that fixation, and how can a robot come to our office, do this thing and that thing and so on, like me, they won't, but they'll do it in another way, just like the Waze app, yeah, helping me to get from point A to point B by doing it in a different way. So there's 4 myths that in the next few seconds, let me try to clarify this. If you think that AI cannot be creative, artistic, they cannot reason, they cannot be empathetic, in my mind, they can be, but it's just in a different way. Yeah, being creative. If you can look at the AlphaGo game, the one that beat Lim Sodong, the best player in this Go game, there were 2 God's move created by the AI, and this was unimaginable in the history of a Go game. It's so complex and so creative, yeah, that Lim Sodong said that at the end of the movie, there's a movie about this, and he said that, you know, what we humans think as creative, now this AlphaGo has shown us that these moves are ordinary because there's a new level of creativity involved. We talk about artistic, just now we talk about Turing tests. Turing test of artistic has all been broken, whether it's art, whether it's musical composition, whether it's even your website can be AI generated. Okay, reasoning is the easy one, but there's so many studies, even by a top lawyer to detect real documents, and you put the AI to do it within 26 seconds. So the AI has beat the top lawyers in spotting the mistakes in the legal document. Yeah, empathy. This is just now I show you that digital humans. This is actually in production mode right now. It's used by ANZ for customer service. Next time your AI system will have a face, and that face you can buy, subscribe to this celebrity's face or that celebrity's face, and you pay royalty to that. Yeah. So you know, just reading your face, it can read thousands of micro expressions. Yeah. If you say people is empathetic, I read your face, I do not know what you're thinking most of the time, unfortunately. Yeah? AI can precisely think, if you look at something, do you like it or not, by looking at just your eyeball dilation. So what is the impact on the future of work? I've been always talking about this. We're moving from a 3.0 paradigm to 4.0 paradigm, including the talent piece of it. Yeah? So today, what's needed and what's valuable are what I call managers. They are specialists in their job, or they can be general practitioners. Yeah. Moving forward, this is not enough because the world, in fact, technology can do a lot of these functions very, very well and very, very cheaply. Yeah. What we need are what I call talent 4.0. These are what I call entrepreneurial leaders. Means that you are not just taking a rule book and executing and doing it slightly better, but you are totally there to say, how do I invent and really transform my business? I think Singapore, we have a few examples. DBS is a very good example. And secondly, we need technology innovators. We need all these things, engineers and creative people, design thinkers to put all these solutions together to do old things in new ways. And finally, we need something called central. Central means that it's not just a doctor doing what he's doing, but doctor 5 years from now working with an AI to bring the profession to a higher level, to find out and detect diseases that wasn't possible before. So in your profession, there'll be people who are specialists, who are able to work with the AI to bring to the level of work beyond a level that is just AI or just human. So when you combine it together, then the magic happens. So with that, I've taken up enough time, and maybe we have some time for quick question, a couple of quick questions.
So thanks so much, Charlie. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Charlie. At this juncture, I just want to check if there's a question from audience in the room. A lot of interesting stuff we just saw and witnessed. I'm excited for the future. Any questions at all from the audience in the room? Okay. I do have a question that's come through in the app, actually. So here, just in time, actually, if AI can be reasoning and can be empathetics, do you think it will impact and replace HR? Can AI replace HR?
Okay, so I didn't cover what is the future of jobs. That is the future of talent, right? So future of job is the intersection of these three circles. One circle is high touch. Okay, a lot of work today are low touch work. And if you replace it, I'm happy because it's like no difference to my life. Yeah, just like maybe your taxi driver is automated, you'll just be okay with that, right? Yeah. That is considered a low touch. So first, are you doing high touch kind of work? Yeah. Second is that it must be high tech. Yeah. So if you are, again, especially in Singapore's context, you're just doing low tech or no tech kind of work, then again it's at risk. Third is whether it's what I call high thought. So whether what you are doing is actually cutting edge of your industry. And the more of these circles that you have, in fact, if your work is in the intersection of the three, then it's perfect. Like for me, I'm kind of trying to be in the intersection of the three. So the question is not whether the job will be redundant or not, but whether you can bring it to a higher level, the level of HR support that you, in terms of leadership or face-to-face with employees, whether you can combine all these three things together and bring it to a much higher level. Work with the AI to bring it to a higher level.
Sure. So high touch,
high tech, and high
thought. Okay, so the intersection of all three.
That's right.
Okay, great, thanks. One other question, I'll take this as a final question for this session. Interesting again. Came in really early in your conversation. Should robots have gender? Who decides the robot? Who decides that?
Actually, there will be a lot of these philosophical questions. Actually, it's really mind-boggling and never ending. In fact, it's about, in future, we are talking about robots' rights and all these things.
Yeah.
So I cannot really see so far because just the two technologies I show you is not the next 20 years, it's the next 5 years.
Yep.
So I cannot even look beyond that because what is coming is quite surprising, disruptive, and in a way, very profound change already. So I really want to focus on those issues. So but those are very important questions because, again, I think there's a dialogue between, one can say that AI is bad for humanity, the other one is good for humanity. To me, they are both right. Because if we don't kind of at the side, all at the side of caution, then basically we are just assuming AI will be good and so on, then we don't build in the controls and the risk management and so on, and it will really run amok.
Yep.
Yeah. But if we think that AI is there on its own, then it's for its own benefit, then I think that's a bit going too far. So I feel that I didn't show the slides earlier, but this World Economic Forum shows that by 2030, AI will create $16 trillion economic value. Real money, real value, just using AI, right? We are in this world, I can tell you where we are heading. If we are using today's technology, business as usual, the whole earth will burn. We are going towards the point of 2 degrees and beyond. If we don't have new technologies for our energy, our water, to make us uplift our life, consuming much less, then we are definitely going to 2 degrees. So to me, technology is not a luxury. We really need that because there are 7 billion people, going to be 8, going to be 9.
Yeah.
And the Chinese want to live like Americans, Africans want to live like Chinese. Without technologies, we'll just implode.
Yep.
Yeah, whether it's into conflict or just pure climate impact.
Sure. So you're essentially saying the answer to that question will not come from you, will come from Alexa in a few years' time.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe smarter than me.
Okay. Do we have any questions at all from the room? Okay, there's one question from an audience member.
Thank you, Charlie. It's very impressive, and I learned a lot.
Thank you.
My question is that well, first of all, there's no question how capable AI is able to do and able to change different aspects of our business and life. But it takes 2 parts to make it happen. So what about the consumer part or the human part that how much we will allow AI to advance to a stage that we understand that we can enjoy a lot of convenience because of AI, but what are the consequences or the things that we have to give up in order to exchange for that convenience? So what do you think this part of thinking or acceptance from the consumer or the will I think change or the development of the AI?
I think in Asia we have less of an issue because some of these deals with privacy issues, and maybe some segments of the European or American community may say, this is getting too touchy. I want to show you in terms of what happened in the past. And if you look at, for example, 10 years ago, would you think that some kind of senior retirees will be there playing some Pokemon Go or playing some gaming in the MRT? If you go to the MRT, you can see them playing all the games, right? So sometimes there's a ramping up period, and after that, if the thing proves to be so good, most of the time people will jump into it because eventually it's weighing their pros and cons. There will be people who want to be outside, so be it. But more and more value will be captured if you are inside the ecosystem. So it will be a personal choice, no doubt. Not everyone will be part of this. I can tell you that today in America, only 10% or less people are on the e-commerce. They are buying things on e-commerce. Yeah? In terms of the overall volume of retail, only 10% is e-commerce. But that's enough because today Amazon is larger than all the other retailers combined. Many of them have gone past. So in the same way, just 5 of us in the room shifting to the new behavior, that will totally disrupt business already. Because that put pressures on the other 95% of the vendors to do it in the same way, to do it in a much better way. Yeah, so this will be a consumer adoption process. Government will also be slowing things down, so it's not a straight cut process. But in the past, we have seen how many instances of technology within a few years really dockless bicycle that isn't 1-2 years ago now full of it everywhere. That's how fast this diffusion takes place.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think that will be the last question for this session. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much, Charlie.
Thank you very much. You've been a great audience.